Good morning, friends. So yesterday I did this experiment in which I locked myself up in my room from the early morning around 7 a.m. until a little past 9 p.m. I didn't exit this room except for only short pee breaks, and I didn't have any input. So I didn't read anything, I didn't watch anything. I was just by myself, and I would allow myself to be creative if anything wanted to come up. And I just ate a few fruits and nuts. So I want to share how I experienced this day and if any lessons came out, because I went in with a few questions for myself. First of all, am I okay to just be with myself? And I think actually this happens more often that I stay in my room and don't do anything. But then it is because I need it, and it's just voluntarily, let's say, and I feel that in those moments it comes very natural to just be and allow emotions to process, or just allow for rest, or whatever it is that I need. Then I accept that, and that's fine. Whereas yesterday I had a lot of energy to move around and do things, and then it's way more difficult to just sit down and say I'm okay with not doing anything, and all these desires that I have, I'm just gonna ignore them. And the second question that was very present for me was about value, and whether I create value in doing nothing at all and sharing this and also just what my value in general is, or what kind of value that I can produce for others. And so I was pondering over this question, and I actually met with some stuck emotions from scenarios in which I feel that my value has been rejected, or I didn't see enough value in myself to not feel rejected. I don't know how that works exactly, but yeah, two cases in which I strongly feel like, oof, there's some self-worth, doubt of my self-worth there. And so I feel that I'm actually still kind of processing those emotions. Okay, this goes a bit slowly, and that is also part of the self-worth game, because I intend for this content to be valuable to you, and there's all kinds of things that I therefore impose on it, that it should be comprehensive and quick and quirky, and contain information that is of any interest, while a part of me strongly feels that the most interesting thing that I could do is to portray myself as authentically as possible, with all the beautiful and ugly things that contains. So all the emotions that are just not so pleasant should also be part of this journey somehow. Yet that also feels like I'm just inviting, how do you call that, voyeurism, like people who just want to, who are very curious about the intimate aspects of other people's lives. And maybe that's also who I am. Actually, that is something that interests me in others a lot, how they truly feel inside, and how they are when no one's watching, kind of. And for me it's also a big challenge, because I am quite attached to privacy, and I couldn't say for what reason exactly, but sometimes there are definitely things that I can only express and live when I'm completely by myself. And in the spiritual journey, I think it's also important to sometimes challenge that and become more continuous in who you are, become more authentic, both in your room by yourself, as when you're in your room by yourself, live streaming yourself on the internet or around other people. So this aspect of being watched all the time, or having the possibility of being watched all the time, was very influential. In the first part of the day, I didn't feel it that strongly, and I actually managed to not care. So I was just meditating and drawing a bit, doing some stuff, and I really didn't care that much. I had just decided that I was okay with myself and having some time to be with me. But then I went to sleep a bit. I was tired. I had a nightmare the night before, and I wanted to sleep more. And a lot of self-judgment came up about being lazy and sleeping during the day and being non-productive. And also, it's a very vulnerable state. If you really fall asleep, your body just takes over. So I don't know what I would have said or done, or how I would have looked with the camera on me. And to know that then I'm practically inviting the whole internet into my space as I'm falling asleep, that was very, that didn't feel good at all. And I also felt like I somehow was responsible to entertain people who were possibly watching, while that was not the goal for myself. And in the first part of the day, I had understood this clearly. Like, I'm not here to talk to them, I'm not here to entertain them. It's more about becoming conscious of my own behavior with the gaze of someone else, and just meeting myself in this space, and inviting others to see that for what it is, not for what I want to convey. Actually, that's maybe the core of this, the reason I did this experiment, that there's always a desire to convey something that is of value to others. And I think in general, it also is. And if you desire to express something or convey something to people, then that comes from a different source than, or it comes from a source of value, because that's why you have desires. It's the expansion of the universe, and it wants to come out because it has to come out, because it has to reach people and affect them. But sometimes when this becomes a belief structure, that you have to be of value, and that there is a clear way to be of value, and I start kind of tracking my path and trying to make up rules, or things don't happen that spontaneously anymore, then it becomes very limiting. Because you then don't see the value anymore in the things that you don't know yet. So if I'm self-centered and I just consider this a self-exploration practice that by chance people can see, it's actually more easy to be really authentic, and all value that is in there, whether it be valuable for me or for anyone else, I don't have to know of it. I don't have to be aware of it. It kind of all becomes valuable, in potential at least. And I don't censor anything because I have an intention of being valuable. Get what I mean? So that was the experiment. If I'm just actually doing nothing at all, not expressing anything towards you, just being by myself, can I feel valuable, or what value is in there? And in the second part of the day, I felt that I was strongly restricting myself in just being. I would have liked to sing and dance a bit more, or actually go to the camera and start talking, but I didn't do this, and I don't exactly know why, but it felt awkward, and after I woke up I also felt a bit sick, and yeah, I was just kind of counting the hours until I felt I could allow myself to end the experiment. And I just woke up, as you maybe can see. And yeah, I'm rambling. So one other thing that I learned is that creativity can be forced. I made this painting yesterday. A part of it already existed, but basically everything that is overlayered, that is not just a regular face, is something that I made yesterday. And it took a lot more hours than you would expect for a painting like this to take. And yeah, I just achieved this because I really couldn't do anything else. And so I kind of shifted between meditating on my bed or on the floor and then looking at the artwork and getting ideas about how it should change or what I should do with it. So that was interesting. I really felt energetic impulses to go there and work on it. And I needed large segments of time between to just be in the space and be with the creative practice. And I think I would have never gotten to this point if I hadn't forced myself to stay in a space. And that ties to the fact that uncomfortable emotions can arise when you stay with yourself and you have nothing to do. So it was also basically a day of shadow work, of meeting my guilt around self-worth and meeting whatever comes up around the topic of being valuable and having value, and providing value and just being yourself, and if that is valuable enough or not. And then sitting through these emotions is actually also what happens when you're being creative, I feel. Because creativity is also a state in which you kind of accept anything that comes, and there is no clear goal. It's just about allowing the impulse to drive you, and that means that sometimes it can be very confrontational and tough, because you sit with yourself for a few hours and you get a lot more clear sight on what is actually going on inside of you. And I feel that if you allow that to come on the page or into music or whatever it is that you're doing as a creative practice, that it usually is quite powerful. But that means you have to meet yourself. What more? Even when I look at the painting, I still feel energized. Maybe it's not done yet. What more is that I'm now going to I'm annoyed with this video, and I can't tell exactly why. I think it's too slow, and I think there's more power in me, and actually maybe I should just go with the impulse to make things more comprehensive and quick, and choose what I want to convey, instead of doing this thing, okay, I'm just gonna put my computer there and start talking and we'll see what comes out. I feel like that is over, so maybe we can maybe I can follow my own judgments and criticism in this one, and just upgrade this whole YouTube channel, because I know that there is value inside me to share. And I know that it will also come if I set the bar higher. So that's what I'm gonna do. And another wish that I would like to speak out is that I'm seeking partners to collaborate with on the creative level. So I want to make art together, not necessarily paintings, but more performance, dance, theater, more embodied wise. So if you want to do a creative project together, let's just do it, and we'll put it on YouTube or we'll perform somewhere else. Reach out to me, you know how to. And actually people have been reaching out to me already, and I really want to say thank you for that. I received a donation from a YouTube subscriber that I'm very thankful for, and 2 invitations from people who offered to stay at their places. And that's just too beautiful. I'm really amazed that this can come through a medium such as YouTube, and I thank you people for extending these invitations, and I will definitely say yes to them and come and visit you, because I like to travel and move around, and I feel like it's good for me actually in these times to become a little more flexible and just see where life takes me. So yeah, if any of you have ideas about how you want to work together or nice places to stay, let me know, and then we'll do something together and be of value to each other. And when I look at myself, I can usually see in my face whether I'm balanced energetically or not, and this is a moment in which I'm not. And you can see it in my eyes. And I also just look tired, that's there as well, but you can really see it in someone's face that it becomes more symmetrical when they are in balance, because then left and right side are same or similar, and that's not the case. So if I would redo this whole video and say what I have to say in the least possible amount of words, it would be: creativity comes when you force yourself to be with yourself and face your difficult emotions. If you sit through them for long enough, you create space for something else to come through. My value is in authentic expression, and I shouldn't limit myself and determine what value means beforehand, because that will also mean I limit my authentic expression. But I can choose to put in more energy and strength into my words and into whatever I'm conveying, so that it's not just a blurry outlet of emotion and thoughts. I'm very thankful that you're here and watching this. I'm very curious about what more is going to come out of me, and I'm still searching as to find out what exactly it is that I want to offer. Yet I will not refrain from offering myself in the way that I am in this very moment, just because I don't know. Shambhu.